on fermentation. So let us discuss about fermentation today. So what is the meaning of fermentation? So fermentation is basically a biotransformation where organic substrate can be converted into the desired product by the help of either microbes or by the help of enzymes. So over here in this video we will be talking about how we use microbes for the preparation of our desired product. Now suppose we have a fermenter, okay, and if you see the this is the feed to the fermenter. Now over here we collect the product. This is the substrate we give, okay, and there it is the microbes. So it is very important to understand the microbial growth before we discuss about the fermentation, okay. So normally the growth of microbes, as you know, that bacterium grow in a binary fission manner. So whenever it divides like this fashion. So we call them a binary fission, and these are the the number of generation that bacteria goes through. And this is, if this is the initial bacterium, then this is after time t, how much it grows in time is very important, because whenever we want a particular product from the substrate, okay, over here you have the substrate can be over here also. This also can be like a cultural media. We will be discussing in our next coming video the different culture media and the different microbial taste for the bacteria. So sometimes the substrate can be mixed with the culture media, or it is separately, the culture media is being given input or substrate present over here. That depends upon the how fermentation is functioning, okay. Now it is very important when you are giving culture media, not only products grow but microbes also grow inside the fermenter. So we have to understand we have to control the growth of microbes, because as you have seen the microbial growth curve, the first phase is the lag phase, then the log phase, and it is a stationary phase, or you can say it is a plateau phase, and the phase of the decline, okay. Now this is the microbial growth curve, where lag phase involves the synthesis of RNA and enzyme, that is the preparation phase of the microbes. Log phase, it's a continuous culture process, like it is an exponential growth, okay. Over here bacteria or bacterium, they possess an exponential growth. So if we want to maintain this particular phase only microbes, we're not allowing them to go to stationary phase and the decline phase, then that particular fermentation technique is known as continuous culture fermentation technique. Normally we use for that chemostat technique. Chemostat is used for continuous culture method, where we are allowing the log phase to be continued. So in that particular case, we have to add culture media after a certain time, and we have to remove the waste after a certain time. So that's why there is no accumulation of waste. So that's become a continuous culture technique. Now over here the stationary phase is because there is a accumulation of more microbes, and there is a limitation of the culture medium. It generates a reactive oxygen species to damage microbes, or it can produce the mutation over here. That's things to understand. So we have to avoid if you want to continuously grow to the microbes and to get a product. And remember, when you are getting a pure product over here, this process is known as downstream processing. Okay. So this is a typical fermenter. Then the decline phase, it's depend upon the temperature, pH, salt, and the nutrition concentration in the fermenter. Okay, So that's why it's very important to understand the microbial growth policy. If the growth is too much and you're giving the culture media, the rate of supplement is late time, or if the growth is very slow and you're giving the more culture media, in both the cases the fermentation may not be the optimized process. Okay, so to have the optimization, so you have the number of generation, that is n, okay, which can be calculated by this equation, log nt minus log nt minus log n0 upon the log 2, that is 0.301. This is the standard formula of finding the number of generation. And once you know the time, okay, and then you can find the generation time, which is nothing but the total time divided by n. So it is very important to know the total, the final population of bacterium. One must know the total time, okay, and the n, that is number of generation, and which can be calculated from the generation time. So like E. coli is having 20 minutes generation time, then Staphylococcus aureus 27 to 30 minutes, Lactobacillus acidophilus, they have 66 to 87 minutes generation time, Bacillus stereothermophilus 11 to 15 minutes, Mycobacterium tuberculosis 360 minutes, and Trypanosoma pallidum highest, which is with 80 minutes. So how to calculate the number of bacterium after time? Suppose E. coli after 1 hour, how much it will grow? So we come to know by this equation, the nt is equal to 10 raised to okay, if you want to know number of n, so n is equal to t by g. So t means 1 hour 60 minutes, and the generation term is 20 minutes, so it is 3. So nt is nothing but 10 into 2 raised to 3. That is the actual formula. N t is equal to n naught into 2 raised to n. Okay, from where we have got this logarithmic expression. So that is an 80 cells. So you can understand the when to be given the nutrients, and when to be removed the waste products. Okay, so after that you must know how to measure this NT, because you have to count the bacteria. So measurement of exponential bacterial growth curve in batch culture is totally different than the continuous culture. So how the batch culture, it's a limited nutrient, can be achieved by bacterial enumeration, that is counting of bacteria by direct individual method known as microscopic. Then you can have a flow cytometer, that is flow cytometer, and then you have direct bulk technique, that is biomass calculation. Then indirect individual, like colony counting technique, colony counters. Okay, then we have indirect bulk method, that is most